Hello everyone, it is Marc Berman from TV Media Insights. It is Friday, June 15th. I want to welcome you back to our second video cast. Now, the good news from the get-go is our really cool backdrop will not be moving today. I am in the office, I found a spot for it, and I'll tell you, our office, if you remember the Brooke Shields sitcom Suddenly Susan, not the greatest show, our office setting is similar to that. It's sort of like a lofty feel, an open area, and it's a really cool setting. So let's get started. Dallas. Yesterday, I told you that I was certain the series premiere of Dallas on TNT Wednesday would break their record books. Well, guess what? It did not. I guess by now you know that I am not always correct. However, it did very well. Dallas opened on Wednesday. 6.86 million viewers. The high on TNT is still The Closer, which to my knowledge peaked at about 8.3 million viewers. Right now, Dallas is the most watched new scripted series premiere this year to date, so it did very well initially. I, however, thought it would do better. There was so much hype, so much promotion. I received so many emails yesterday from people wondering how it did. I'm assuming, and we haven't seen the audience profile yet, but logically, most of the people that watch Dallas are people like me that watched the original. They were curious, and the reaction, based on what I saw on our Facebook page and the emails I received, pretty much everyone really liked it. So keep in mind that most new shows drop in the vicinity of 10 to 20% in the second week. That will probably happen to Dallas also. If Dallas could settle into the 5 to 6 million viewer range, TNT definitely has something that could work. So, good start for Dallas, not a record. I thought it would be. I was incorrect. Now, let's go to some daily news highlights. I have to put my glasses on because, as I showed you yesterday, here I have it right here. I do have a cheat sheet that I work off of. What I basically do throughout the day is I write the column, and I come in the morning, I update it. I'm actually working on the train, and then I put it out. So, let's start with an item in TV history, actually a couple of things, which I think is really cool. Do you remember Hee Haw? I'm sure you do. Hee Haw debuted on CBS in 1969. It aired on the network for 2 seasons. It was a victim of what is called the Rural Purge. Now, the Rural Purge basically is, at the time, CBS had sitcoms like Petticoat Junction, Beverly Hillbillies, Green Acres. They had Hee Haw. They decided they didn't want these type of programs on the air anymore, and they canceled everything. Hee Haw exited, went into first-run syndication, stayed on the air through 1993, a really long run. Now, let's go back to 1984. There was a late-night show called Thick of the Night, hosted by Alan Thicke, who is now known as Robin Thicke's father. Everybody was pitching it as this is the show that's going to beat Johnny Carson. It did not. Lasted barely a season, introduced the masses to Arsenio Hall, by the way, and exited. And then on a final note, and I have to use my cheat sheet, Bob Barker exited his hosting stint on The Price is Right on this day in 2007. I had the opportunity to interview Bob Barker a few years ago. One of the nicest guys in this business, a real class act. He's 88 years old. He worked full-time up until 2007. He is a true inspiration. And Drew Carey on The Price is Right. He's not Bob Barker, but you know what? Not terrible. Okay, now let's go to TV from last night. Let's talk about a few things. I watched a repeat of The Big Bang Theory. I laughed my head off. I really sincerely hope. Now, Jim Parsons has won the Emmy twice for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series. I think they should give some attention to supporting characters, specifically Mayim Bialik as Amy Farrah Fowler. I think she is terrific. I watched that. I was disappointed, by the way, because my guilty pleasure on Thursday night, I watched Selling New York and Selling L.A. on HGTV. Selling L.A. was not on at 9:30. They now have Selling London. I'm not as interested in London. Bryan Cranston we know as the star of Breaking Bad. He has been named host of the upcoming Television Critics Association Press Tour Awards. They will be handed out live at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles, and yours truly will be there. If you remember, Bryan Cranston was the father of Malcolm in the Middle. To go from Malcolm in the Middle to Breaking Bad is incredible. I mean, I don't really know of any actor that really switched gears that significantly, that quickly, and that successfully, but he really did, Bryan Cranston. let's go to updated results in daytime talk, the network daytime talk. It's the same scenario every week. The View on ABC is first. The talk on CBS, that is growing year to year, and ultimately the Chew on ABC cannot hold the same audience levels as year-ago occupant All My Children. So The View, once again, down but still dominant, talked up. The Chew, ABC made a mistake canceling both of those soap operas, and I would assume at this point they probably regret it. Now, let's go to TLC for My Big Fat American Gypsy Wedding. They're doing very well with this stuff. They've announced the second season of this show. They have announced that they will have a 1-hour special, My Big Fat American Gypsy Wedding, the Stanley sisters. You know what? It works. It works. So I'm not gonna say anything. MTV, they are going to be launching later this year a late night talk show, a weekly. It's once a week. It's called The Nikki and Sarah Show. It will be hosted by stand-up comedians Nikki Glazer and Sarah Schaefer. I never heard of them. But you know where it's going to be filmed? This is very cool. MTV has a studio right in the middle of Times Square in New York, and you people outside could actually see them filming. I believe that's the studio where it's going to be done. I used to work in that building. And I get to work very early. I get here at 6:45. It is now just about 7:30 that I'm doing this. And I remember going to that studio, and across the street was the Good Morning America studio in Times Square, ABC. Really cool. So MTV has announced that. Bethenny Frankel, let's talk about that. This is the new talk show from Warner Brothers hosted by reality star Bethenny Frankel. It dropped again in day 3. In the metered markets, on Monday was a 1.5, Tuesday a 1.1, Wednesday a 1.0. The good news is it is still building from the lead-in and year-ago time period averages. I will have more updated ratings today on our website at, shameless plug, www.tvmediainsights.com. I do believe that Bethenny Frankel will be going out national, but we shall see. Now, let's go to some programming highlights for the weekend. Tonight, my 10-year-old Morgan will be at the TV set watching the debut of Disney Channel movie Let It Shine. I predict huge numbers. These movies always do well. She already actually saw it. I got her a preview DVD, and she really enjoyed it. And I think it's going to do really well. Now, I'll be curious to see what happens tonight. This is the second week that ABC's airing Whitney and Community in the Friday 8 o'clock hour. These are encore telecasts, but you know what? They're trying to build an audience, and guess what? This, I'm certain of, these sitcoms are not going to work for NBC in the Friday 8 o'clock hour. Now, put on your historical hat. I want to give you a fact that you might, I don't know, if you remember these shows, you're up there in age, okay? The last time NBC opened a fall season with sitcoms in the Friday 8 o'clock hour was, are you ready for this? 1983. They had 2 short-lived comedies, Mr. Smith, which featured a monkey, and Jennifer Slept Here with Ann Gillian. They didn't work. Normally, when you have a monkey on a show, it's the kiss of death. Excluding Friends. Remember Marcel in the first season? Didn't work. NBC's upcoming Animal Hospital, the standout star is the little monkey. He's better than the actors. Emmy, take notice, because maybe you'll have a monkey on the ballot, but I don't think Animal Hospital is going to work. I don't think any of NBC's new comedy is going to work. Let's get back to programming for the weekend. Tonight, if you're a fan of Fairly Legal on USA, it is the season finale. On Saturday, what can I say? There's never anything on. There's 3 original made-for movies. I'm looking at my sheet here. On Lifetime, Hallmark, and Sci-Fi on Saturday. Ultimately, if you want to see a really bad sitcom, check out How to Be a Gentleman on CBS, another burn-off episode on Saturday. I do not know how shows like that get on the air. On Sunday, the 2012 U.S. Open Championship will air on NBC. We have Game 3 of the NBA Finals on ABC. I should be getting the overnight results for last night in once this is done, and I will report on how Game 2 did. And I'm sure it did very well for ABC. And ultimately, in the world of cable on Sunday, let me give you some highlights. Let's see what we have. We have the season finales of The Killing on AMC, Nurse Jackie, The Big C, and The Borgias on Showtime, and The Client List on Lifetime with Jennifer Love Hewitt. Do you remember, Jennifer Love Hewitt? I used to watch Party of 5. I was a big fan. Do you remember when she was spun off into Time of Our Life? which lasted barely a season, a really, really bad spinoff. But that's what's coming up on the air this weekend. This is today's video cast. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope everybody has a great day, a great weekday, and a great weekend. And I will be back with more news about my favorite medium, which happens to be television. Before I go, take a look. Once again, this is my TV Media Insights t-shirt. And before I go, I just want to show you what a company man I am. I'm going to put on my TVMI hat. Here we go. TVMI from head to sort of toe. Anyway, have a great weekend. I'll see you back on Monday. Signing off, Marc Berman.